The finale of Reacher's best season yet is explosive, literally. The Season 3 finale of Reacher just landed on Prime Video, and it was a worthy conclusion to what has been one of the best seasons of the series thus far. Every major player inevitably got what was coming to them, good or bad, which proved to be rather satisfying. It all came to a head with plenty of gunfire during Beck's Anthony Michael Hall 50th birthday party. Merely just a ruse for Quinn's Brian T. business dealings, nothing unfolded as planned, at least for the bad guys. The Season 3 finale of Reacher just landed on Prime Video, and it was a worthy conclusion to what has been one of the best seasons of the series thus far. Every major player inevitably got what was coming to them, good or bad, which proved to be rather satisfying. It all came to a head with plenty of gunfire during Beck's Anthony Michael Hall 50th birthday party. Merely just a ruse for Quinn's Brian T. business dealings, nothing unfolded as planned, at least for the bad guys. After realizing the ATF unknowingly followed Beck into Quinn's trap at the junkyard, it's clear the buyers weren't there to purchase a thing. Rather, it was all a setup to get rid of Beck and blame everything on him so Quinn could escape and hit the refresh button just like he'd done in the past. In the process, nearly every agent catches a bullet. However, our heroes make it out alive thanks to Reacher Alan Ritchson and Duffy's Sonia Cassidy various skills. Now back at Beck's home, Reacher deals with Polly Olivia Richters as the others hit the party. Neegly Maria Sten sets out to keep an eye on Quinn, while Duffy and Villanueva Roberto Montesinos look for Teresa Storm Steenden and Richie Johnny Berchtold. Beck's only job is to remain out of sight in the basement. With Quinn believing him to be dead, Beck's presence could ruin their entire plan. Unfortunately for Beck, it's a task he nearly achieves until the very end. While everyone else sticks to their assignments inside the house, the feud between Reacher and Polly finally comes to a head. In what was one of the best action sequences this season, the pair faced off for quite some time. From their encounter at the 18-wheeler to the barn, it almost seemed as though Reacher might have finally met his match. However, Polly might be bigger and stronger, but Reacher still outsmarts him. After Polly chained him up by the neck, Reacher appeared to be a goner. Nevertheless, he was able to free himself, and the fight continued all the way to the rough waters at the edge of the property. The melee rages on, and Reacher seemingly wins, only to realize that Polly still remains in tow. Now out of the water, the pair eventually make it back to the house where the machine gun is rigged at the gate. They both attempt to shoot one another, but to no avail. Finally, after Polly takes control of the weapon, he reminds Reacher of his strength before pulling the trigger. However, as Polly dies from his fatal chest wound, Reacher reminds Polly of his intellect. Before Polly grabbed the gun, Reacher pulled the bullet from the belt and plugged the barrel so the weapon would backfire and kill Polly. Victory number 1 in the bag. Reacher then acquires a shotgun before setting out to take down the bad guys inside the house. With the party now over thanks to all the shooting, Beck is unable to stay out of sight. Because his son is somewhere upstairs, Beck leaves the basement to find him. While Villanueva did manage to find Richie, when everyone began shooting, they parted ways, so Richie could escape the house. Unfortunately, he ran into Quinn before he could make it out, which meant Richie became Quinn's hostage. Having killed his business associates and stolen their money, Quinn needs Richie and more weapons if he hopes to make it out of the house alive. While obtaining more guns in Beck's office, Beck appears with the toy gun Richie gave him for his birthday. However, Quinn is unaware it's a fake, so he lowers his weapon and allows Richie to go to his father. If fans thought Reacher couldn't possibly top its brutal bar fights, razor-sharp dialogue, and Jack Reacher's signature brand of vigilante justice, Season 2's finale proved them dead wrong, and with a bang. Quite literally. Amazon's adaptation of Lee Child's beloved novels has been building momentum with each season, but this latest outing hit harder, dug deeper, and left viewers with their jaws on the floor and possibly their eardrums ringing. Season 2, based on Bad Luck and Trouble, was a love letter to longtime readers and a thrill ride for new fans. But the finale? It was a full-throttle explosion of emotion, betrayal, and yes, actual explosions. Here's why this was Reacher's most electrifying season ender yet. The stakes were personal, and that made it hurt more. Jack Reacher has always been a man shaped by his past, but rarely do we see him haunted by it. Season 2 changed that. With the introduction of his old unit, the 110th Special Investigators, viewers saw a softer, more vulnerable side of the usually unshakable XMP. When one of their own turns up dead, the personal stakes rocket sky high, and the finale doesn't pull any punches. By the time Reacher and the remaining team members converge on new age technologies, they're not just looking for justice. They're out for revenge. And the final episode masterfully balances high-octane action with emotionally charged character beats. The loss, the loyalty, the rage, it all culminates in one final, fiery act of war. That final set piece was a masterclass in mayhem. From a sheer technical standpoint, the finale's climactic showdown was nothing short of spectacular. What started as a quiet infiltration of a corporate facility quickly escalated into an all-out war zone. Reacher, armed with nothing but improvised weapons, military tactics, and an almost mythic sense of strategy, turns a sleek office complex into a battlefield. Explosives, gunfire, hand-to-hand combat that would make Jason Bourne sweat. And of course, Reacher's signature one-liners delivered between bone-crunching punches. The direction was tight, the pacing relentless, and the stakes sky-high. It felt like a big-budget action movie packed into 50 minutes, and it worked flawlessly. Alan Ritchson has fully become the Jack Reacher. Any lingering doubts about Alan Ritchson's ability to carry the series were obliterated by this finale. With his imposing physicality, quiet charisma, and stone-cold stare, Ritchson is Reacher. But what truly elevated his performance this season, and especially in the finale, was the nuance. We saw him mourn, rage, and even hesitate. That brief flicker of vulnerability when he hesitates before pulling the trigger? That's the kind of emotional depth that separates a good action hero from an iconic one. Ritchson no longer just fits the role, he owns it. Ties to the books made it even more rewarding. For fans of the books, this finale was packed with subtle nods and faithful recreations that hit like Easter eggs wrapped in emotional gut punches. The brutal way Reacher dispatches the villain mirrors a key scene in Bad Luck and Trouble. The reunion of the 110th, even in its fractured form, echoes the novel's bittersweet tone perfectly. And then there's the dialogue. Sharp, sparse, and often more telling in what's not said. Just like in Lee Child's pages. It's clear that the showrunners not only respect the source material, they understand it. The villain was more than just a suit. What made this finale truly resonate wasn't just the action, it was the antagonist. Shane Langston, played with chilling precision by Robert Patrick, wasn't a cartoon villain. He was calculated, charismatic, and terrifyingly real. A former military man gone corporate, his manipulation of technology for power felt both timely and eerily plausible. By the time he and Reacher square off, the battle feels mythic, two soldiers shaped by war on opposite sides of morality. The final moments between them are savage and unflinching. There's no grand speech, no redemption arc. Just justice, Reacher style. A hint of what's to come. Just when you think it's all over, Reacher walking away, bloodied but victorious, the finale teased what's next. A phone call. A name. A threat. It's classic Reacher, finish one fight, only to find another waiting. It's a satisfying conclusion, but one that promises the storm hasn't passed. If anything, it's only getting started. Why this season and finale was the best yet? Season 2 took everything that worked in the first season and doubled down. Better. And